What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone is having a good weekend. Just give me a second and get set up. Send out a couple invites. Alright. So last week was a real exciting week. Last week we seen a bunch of pot stocks just explode. And Saturday I went over and I looked all through websites and I compiled a list of pot stocks that I liked and added a bunch of pot stocks to my list. And I also went to the NASDAQ.com. I looked up any new IPOs coming out, reverse splits happening, and the earnings calendar. And I didn't really see anything that caught my eye or anything that was happening. And I seen that towards the end of October, near Halloween, all the large cap stocks are going to be announcing their earnings. So it's good to take note on that as we reach closer to the earnings of the large caps in October. I know it's a little over a month away, but every time earnings comes around for those large cap stocks, it always takes away volume from the penny stock world. So it's good to keep that in mind. Alright, we're going to go over all the pot stocks that went on big moves and a few tickers that went on big moves. But first, we're going to go into the market strength. And I wanted to add in here the Dow Jones and the New York Stock Exchange. So, let me see. I'll add this new layout. Market strength 02. And then I'll go to launch tools and I will add a chart. We're going to add a few charts. Okay, we're going to put this one here, this one here. It's always good to know the overall market strength. Always. There's a little good video. If any of you guys have Netflix, there's a little series out called How To or something, or How It Works. And there's like a 20-minute video about the stock market. And I just watched that last night. And it was actually pretty good. They also have a couple Bitcoin documentaries on Netflix too. I haven't seen them yet, but I've wanted to check them out. So this is going to be the daily. We'll link this to a blue triangle, yellow, yellow. Let me look something up real quick. I don't know the ticker for the New York Stock Exchange. That's what I typed in. Whoa, look at that. Huh. One second. Or you know what? I should have done no. Well, never mind that. I'll add it into it later. So we got the SPY here making still all-time new highs. If you zoom out here from, look at all the way, it goes all the way back to 97. You had a double top here, and then it finally broke above that in 2013. And it's just been up and up and up and up. So all this year, I would say, though, it's just been really choppy. What are we? We're 9 months in to 2018, and all right here, you know, right at the beginning of the year, we were entering into the new year at all-time highs. And same thing with the. Let's see, we'll go back here to the first of the year. Right here, we were entering in at all-time highs. Then we had this pullback. The NASDAQ then rallied all the way up until June. And then it's just went sideways, very toppy. And as you can see, it pulled back, almost pulling back all the way to the 200-day moving average. And the SPY had this pullback as well, and it's just been going sideways and very choppy. And it just recently broke out to new highs, pulled back, and then hit new highs again. So the SPY's looking pretty good. breaking out to new highs, and it's just inching over breaking out to new highs. The NASDAQ I'm a little worried about because we got a triple top right here, and it's struggling to hold these new highs, so we could be seeing a correction coming soon. I don't know. But let's get into what's been going on. I also created a new screener last night as well. So first, let's break down CRON, chronic. And just to show you guys real quick, all the pot stocks I've compiled into my watch list. Oops. So when did I do this? I did this Saturday. Saturday I went to multiple websites and I compiled a lot of tickers that looked interesting and had great charts, and they're all pot related, wheat related, and I added them all to my list here just to compile them. That way during market hours I can see how the overall pot stocks are doing. So I got IGC, ZYNE, TRTC, XXII, ZNBX, CANN, INSY, HMLSF, CVSI, MJ, CRON, NUGS, MRMD, NBEV, TLRY. Let me also go in here and mess with the columns real quick. I just want to try to add something. So I want to add the exchanges on. $52-week high and the low 52-week. And that's it. So a few of these are on the OTC exchange. Alright. Let's get into it. So first up, we're going to go over cron. Here we go. Let's look at the 65-minute chart and we'll work our way in. Let's see the date. So going back 5 days here to the 17th on Monday. And that's right here. So on Monday, it started at 10:22 and hits a high of 15:30. So it's playing around in this resistance right here. You see how it kind of topped out right here and right here? And then it did hit a high here of 1360, 1350. But then it just struggled right here. And then it fell down. What's it look like on the yearly? So on the yearly, we have resistance here around the $13 area. So $12. It's currently at $12.50. I've never played CRON, so I've only looked over at it. Let's move now to the 15-minute chart. So it's looking, yeah, very toppy here at the 13 area, the 1330. So I want to put a, I'll put a resistance line at 1330. This is hard. I'm going to put $13. With a high, it's got a high at 1537. If I can get that high. Put that up there. And then we got resistance at 14 and 1480. The thing that worries me about on this is there going to be a lot of bag holders. So then this is the 5-minute. Again, $13.80, $14 is looking like it's resistance. But it looks like it's in a free fall here. Let's go to the 3-minute. I'm seeing possible support at $12. But then after that, I'm not really seeing support till $11.50, $11. $14 is very, very tough for this. $13.80 and $14 is looking like it's very tough for this to stay above. As you can see, when it surged up over 14, it quickly came right back down, and then it bounced and it made a lower high right here, and then it crashed down. And then this is the 1 minute. Yeah, Kron is just not looking very, doesn't seem like it has strength. Let's go over to NBEV. Just look at that up ramp right there. It hit those highs pre-market, but then it quickly shot down, and then it struggled here at 750. So I'm going to put a resistance here at 750. Hmm. $730. See, even when you look at the daily chart on this, this is NBEV. And when I zoom out and come to this area over here, it topped out right here at 721. And it loved hanging in this area of 525. 525 to almost 6. Let's switch over to the weekly. 675, 720. $6 could hold as support. It could. $6, 5.25. I wish when I drew it on the daily, it popped up on this as well. Man, this is going to be a tough one. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to try the Fibonacci retracement. So we got from the low to the high, the 61.8 pullback is at 475. 50% is at like the 575 area. Oops. If NBEV wants to show strength, I'm gonna say it's gonna have to hold above $6 to show strength. But then if it cracks 550, if it cracks below 550, I'm gonna say it's possibly, it could be done for, but anything could happen. Because you can see here Friday it sold off hard, had a bounce, and then it just kept fading and fading and fading. Just like that. we're still going to keep an eye on NBEV. And then IGC. So going into next week, I'm going to be looking at CRON, NBEV, and of course IGC. Alright, IGC, it's just straight up. Then you got all this just going sideways, and then it goes down. A perfect rainbow, pretty much. Around 220. So 270, we got 275 possible support. Because looking back at this, you can see pre-market here, it couldn't break above 275. It pulled back and it comes back up, and then it struggled again right here at this almost 275. Pulls back, then it blew through it, comes down. Almost pretty much, it blew through it a little bit, coming down to 260, but overall 275 is holding as support. Pops up after hours, fades off, and it's hanging around this 275 area. So this could possibly become resistance. Now, if it falls below it, next support area we got is 225. Let's see, let's go over to the 5-minute. It got rejected in this $4 area really hard. Ugh. It's hard trying to get this even $4. That'll work. So it got rejected hard in $4. You can see it comes up here. Just popped over 4 to a high of 407 almost. Comes back down. And it crashed hard all the way down to $3. Comes back up, tests $4 again. Couldn't do it. Didn't like it. Comes back down to a low of 330, 325. This is going to be an interesting one for sure. And I'm going to put resistance here at 330, because when it came up here, this is where it pulled back in this 330 area, and then when it pulled back here, it bounced off 330, bounced off 330, and it bounced off 330 right here. So we could see 330 be a area this could struggle in. So I'll add that. Also, let me add it to the 3-minute. even 375 up to 4. That's when I'll know we're in a pretty much a red territory. 375 to $4. And then there was one I wanted to keep an eye on. Where is it at? Let me bring up trade ideas real quick, just so I can see the float. So TRTC is an over-the-counter stock, OTC. It's got a float of 66 million. What's its profile? Operates as a vertically integrated cannabis-focused agriculture company. The company operates in two segments, herbs and produce products. The cannabis dispensary, cultivation and production. The herb and produce products segment offers. Okay, that's a lot to read. So I'm not too big on OTCs. I'm really not. XXII, it's just a barcode stock. CNBX, below the 200-day moving average. CANN, also an OTC. CVSI is a really good hot one, but it just be having killer drops on it. Look at that, 584 down to almost $5. NUGS, OTC. MRMD, I think this is it, but this is also an OTC. And TLRY, this one just got destroyed. As you can see here. This thing was crazy though. Let's look at the daily. Literally just in August, this was at around $25. And it ran all the way up and touched $300. And then when it got touched 300, everybody just started dumping it. And it's bouncing right now, right off this 13 EMA at 125. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, look at that. So, that's a dragonfly doji. Or no, a gravestone doji. So following TLRY, TLRY is like the granddaddy of the pot stocks. TLRY has a float of 17 million. Wow. It's bouncing off of $100. So is TLRY going to continue crumbling, or is it going to hold up? We'll see next week. And then we got MDGX. MDGX Friday went on a really nice rip from 523 up to a high of $8.20. Okay. The company treats departure of 4 executives as for cause. So MDXG had 4 top executives be terminated. Its float is 100 million. It's in the healthcare. Dead cat bounce for TLRY. EKKO. We're just looking at MDXG here. Yeah, TLRY. I was saying, though, too, keeping an eye on TLRY. Like, if this gets momentum, then a lot of the other pot stocks are going to get momentum with this. Cron, NBEV, IGC. So, look what it did Friday, though, and look what IGC did, and look what Cron did. Let's see. IGC, we all know, went on a big, nice rip, and then went sideways and fell off. NBEV just sold off all day, and CRON sold off all day as well. So just like the overall market, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market. So we had Cron fall off, NBEV fall off, all with TLRY, and we had just the one, IGC, that was the most powerfulest right here. So like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how these pot stocks react next week. Because last week, they were green Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was a red day for them all. So maybe Friday was a good pullback day for them. You know, it's just like running a marathon. You can't keep going and going and going and going. You got to take a break. Yeah, TLRY definitely leads them. It's the granddaddy of the pot stocks. And I was trying to find a marijuana index in the NASDAQ. I remember hearing about it, and I can't remember if it was either Bitcoin got denied for an index or was it marijuana got denied for an index. I was trying to find one on the internet, and that's when I compiled all these pot stocks here. And I made a pot stock watch list of all the ones that interested me the most. So I'll bring it up here just to show you. A lot of them are on OTC. I really don't play OTC stocks because OTCs are a world of their own. And the one that's been going the best is CVSI. But CVSI, has a good history of going up, but then it just has killer downfall to it. You'll see it go up, and then literally within minutes, it'll have a dollar drop to it. And when you're in OTC, it could be really hard trying to buy and sell, because OTC world, they say you want to buy into weakness and you want to sell into strength. So if you get greedy and it starts tanking on you, it's going to be like impossible to get out. That's why I don't really mess with OTCs. But bringing this back up, Saturday I went online. I went to all kinds of internet websites, all these different pot websites, trying to find a wheat stock index. There is a wheat stock index, but I can't seem to get it on my platform. I can only see it on the internet. And I started going through, and I was pulling up all these charts. And a lot of these pot stocks, too, are a lot of like sub-zero stocks on the OTC pink sheets market. So I went through and I pulled up and I was looking at all of them, and I started writing down a lot of them that actually interest me, that had a good chart. So I created a watch list, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 15 pot stocks right here, just to have up. So during the market, when the market's live and going on, I can pull this up and I can see just on all of these stocks how well the wheat sector, is actually performing. If a lot of them are red, I know it's going to be a red day. If a lot of them are green, then I know it's got momentum. But again, too, it's also keeping an eye on the top 4 that are performing: IGC, TLRY, NBEV, and CRON. So I just went through and I got all of the resistance and support levels that I thought would hold for NBEV, CRON, and IGC. I don't really want to play CRON because I feel like it's the one that everybody's played out the most. There are going to be a lot of bag holders on it. I don't want to get in on something that's going to have a lot of upwards resistance, because a lot of these traders, they'll buy in at the top, and once it starts going down, they're bag holding it, hoping it starts to come back up. And I don't want to be getting in when all these bag holders are just unloading on me. But I'd say the surprise Friday was IGC for sure. That was just an insane run in the morning. Let me bring it up. I wanted to play this so bad on Friday. See, I was watching it here on Thursday with NBEV, and it could barely hold over this 190 level. So, and then at the end of the day, it got a nice push and momentum here up over $2. And I was at work when this happened. So when I got home from work and I seen it was up here after hours at the 230 level, I was like, wow. So then the next day it gaps up to 273. It pulls back right at the area pretty much where it closed the previous day and bounced perfectly off of it, the 225 level, and shot up to 275. And if we zoom in on it, you see pretty much got a nice bull flag pullback right here. And then right when the bell rang, see, I can't trade when the bell just first rings off. I can't, because it's too volatile. You don't know what's going to happen. You got all these market orders going in. Prices are just insane, and I have been burnt trying to play the market open. And if you're not fast, you could really, really destroy your account. So this, right out of the bell, this just started running from the 263 area, runs all the way up to 328. And then we get a great pullback right here down to like the 290 area. And then from there on, it just didn't even look back, and it shot all the way up to $4. So then we finally get a pullback right here, back down to 3, and it comes back up to a high of 375. And I wanted to play this so bad, but it was just up so much, and it was making lower lows here, coming down to the VWAP, and then we got a momentum push up here to a high of 392. This will definitely be on watch Monday for any kind of momentum and maybe for its possible next leg up. But on the daily chart, as you can see, that's a shooting star. So a shooting star is not good. And it tested $4 2 times. And it got denied $4 very, very quickly. So $4 and $3.75 is going to be a very, very tough level for IGC. So I'm going to be looking Monday for this to possibly hold $3 support and trying to get momentum back up to the 350, 375 area. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So then we did have ALT go on some crazy moves, but it didn't really have the volume. And this is just very, very volatile stock, and it's still holding $25. Anyone who played this and banked on it, congratulations, because you killed it. Wednesday, this just slowly started getting momentum. Not much volume in it at all, and it goes from 430 all the way up to the $18 area. And then the next day, it just exploded from 18 to a high of 36.50. And as you can see, let me zoom in on this. See, this was the first day it started to go up, and it didn't have much volume. What did it have? It had 2.2 million in volume, but a lot of that volume came right here and right here. Very, very risky stock. When this was up, this is up like 300% at this point right here. So I don't like to play something that's up that much in percent. You know, let's see what the float is on ALT. Yeah, look at it. The float is super, super low. 500,000 is the float on it. Let's see what the summary of the company is. So it's biotechnology company. So they're into like vaccines and cells and viruses. I can see an anthrax vaccine and treating cancer. But plain pharmaceuticals, just like the OTCs, they're a world of their own. Pharmaceuticals are very, very, very volatile and just risky. Very risky. But looking at it on the daily, it's right up at the 200-day moving average. You can see that's acting as a resistance wall. It'll pop above it, and then it'll come right back down below it, acting as a magnet. So watch next week. This upcoming week here. Watch, it'll probably come all the way back down. But momentum could come back into it at any moment. It could have a great bounce to it. You can see two great up days here with volume at 1.3 million and 2.6 million. Two great up days right here, and then it just fades out. We got anything else? You can also see too that it loves obeying the moving averages. You got right here, pops up above the 250 day, and it comes right back down below it. Bounces off of it right here. And again, right here. Shoots up above the 200 day and comes right back down below it. And again, right here. And here. So look, just seeing examples of that on the daily will tell you what's going to happen in the future. It's like these stocks have memory. And that's why it's always good to go back and look at it, what happened in the history. Because history repeats itself. And then look at, this is the weekly chart. Stock comes right up to the 50-day moving average, touches it, comes right back down. Look at that big move. Going from $20 to $237, that couldn't have happened. Back in 2017? No. Maybe it did. I don't know. Or no, wait, this is the weekly. Never mind. And then looking at this on the monthly, you can see big green month right here. Oh, that's a 1 for 10 reverse split. Tells you right there. Okay. What else did we have? I don't think NIO did too much. Maybe it did. Let's see. Let's zoom out of this. So after it had that big move, it crashed down. And it looks to be like in a range right now. From 950 to in the 950, 850 area. Just momentum's dying on it. Let me bring up the 65-minute. Yeah, you can clearly see it with the volume bars. It's just, volume just slowly but surely dying on it. That's the 65-minute, and then this is the 15-minute. We'll probably come back down here to 767 or $8. We also had TRBG. Back and type. TRBG. This is the 15-minute. Looks like it's forming a head and shoulders, don't it? You got your shoulder right here. You got your head. You got another shoulder forming right here. So this would be the neckline on it. Right here. That's why you know these patterns. Alright, I got you, EKKO. I'll write that down right now. Good luck to you. So I can't wait to see what happens this upcoming Monday. Just give me 1 second. I tried. So TRVG, this is the 15-minute. Let's look at the 65-minute. Again, it's great, and it looks like a head and shoulders on it. But what I would do on this is draw a trend line on it right here. Just see if it will pop up above that, connecting the lower highs. And that's when you could get a nice pop above that, and then it could act as resistance. So let's look at this in the 5-minute as well. 5-minute again. You could clearly see the head and shoulders on it. So, but we did have a recent one, GEMP, had a head and shoulders, and it was a false head and shoulders. So it just goes to show these patterns don't always work. And it's why you keep an eye on them to see what happens. So we got, let's see if we can plot out some resistance and support here. Why is this even up? Let's see. We got an SEC filing here. A 13D. I still have yet to watch Tim Sykes' SEC filings DVD with what's his name? Forget his name, but the guy with the beard and the glasses. So it looks like we have someone here buying shares. A stock purchase agreement on September 17th. I see right here $31,290,000 purchase price, of which $6,705,000 shall be payable to Sewer and $24,585,000 shall be payable to Mir. Class A shares acquired by purchaser pursuant of the agreement referred to herein as the shares. So somebody sold shares. And this was on September 17th. So September 17th, let's go back here. Right here is where it happened. And then it rallies up from 5 up to a high of almost $6, pulls back here to the 550 area, runs back up, stops at like the $6 area. So $6 is looking like it's acting as resistance and support. I'll just put that right there. And then runs up to 6. Right there it ran up to 620, but it reaches a high of 650. Draw resistance at 650 to 620. See, it's right at the 200-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average is at $6. So $6, we gotta mark that on here. Let me put that on the 3-minute, because this is the main time frame I look at during market hours. So I'll put that right at $6, and that's where the 200-day moving average is. On the weekly, it's at 617. So that's why it's struggling in this area of 6 and 620, because on the weekly, I'll show you. On the weekly, we got the 50-day. You can see it right here. When I move my mouse away, it's at 617, and it comes up right to it. And then when I go to the daily, you got this red line. This is the 200-day. And right here, when I move my mouse away again, it's at $6. So it's right at it. So I would look for this to hold $6 and possibly work its way back on up to 620 and then 650. TRVG. We got to see what the float is on that too. TRVG. So 200 moving average at 6. Also on the weekly, 50 MA at 6:15. So I'm going to plot that out too. Look for 6 to hold as support. And work its way up to 6:20 and 6:50. I really want this to prove to me that it will hold $6, but it's also forming a head and shoulders pattern. So I got that saved, and I'll move that up there. So we got CRON, NBEV, IGC, and TRVG so far on our watch list going into next week. And like I said, it's good to plot these out. Plot out the support and resistance areas. See where the price action has taken place on these on multiple time frames. That way you are prepared Monday and you're not doing all this when the market's live. Doing all this when the market's live and you're freaking out what's going on, you don't know what to do. 90% of traders fail. Always remember that statistic when you're studying. This isn't gambling, this is risk management. And this is what I'm doing. Now we also had DCTH. Just looks like a straight up pump and dump. Goes from 330s up to $10 and then just dumps off. So probably just a chat room pump. Also we got AWSM. Now AWSM, now look at this thing. This week it goes from 480. Friday it's hitting $22. 3 straight green days in a row. This is due for a pullback for sure. I won't play it because it's just up too much. But this will be interesting to watch this upcoming week. So AWSM, I'm just going to add it to the back burner. Then we got LADS. LADS is notorious for going on just big runs. Look at all those U-shapes there on the 15-minute. You got a big spike up here. Comes down, U-shape, fail, U-shape, fail. Comes down, U-shape, fail, U-shape, fail. It's just a low float just traders take advantage of a chat room pump. If it gets above this 450 level, that's when you could start to see momentum and hype come into this. Let's look at it in the 65-minute. Yeah, clearly, if this gets over 450, so let me put that on here. Also, I'll put a price alert on here as well. So, create alert. The trade price increases to 450. Actually, we gotta do the... We'll have this set for until Tuesday. It does look like it's creating a squeeze too on the daily as the 13 EMA is coming up to the 200-day. So LEDS squeeze forming. I'm also going to create a note on here on the daily. Squeeze. Squeeze forming with 200 MA and 13 EMA. You best believe a lot of chat rooms are watching this. So let's look at the float. LEDS. LEDS has a history too of running. The float on it is only 2 million. So it doesn't take much for LEDS to get going. And when you look at the history on it on the daily, you see all these big, huge green bars or these big wicks. Look at that. Going from $2.60 to $10, $4 to $8, $4 to $6. So now that we know the price trigger for this, which is 450, what's the first resistance level it's going to come up to? The first resistance level it's going to come up to is a mental resistance, and it's a chart resistance area as well, is $5. So let me plot out here, $5. $5, and then from there This has room to run up to $5.50, $5.75, $6. So every 25 cents could act as resistance, but I'm going to say every 50 cents because this is a low float. When you're getting in on stuff that's 5 million float and under, you can't really be going about, I'm going to hold on to this for as long as I can, because the price on it just moves really, really fast. And you could see on the daily chart, if I bring this over, you see these long wicks, and the price comes up, falls right back down. Traders want to take a profit, but you got to think too, on the daily, you see all these big, this is what I look for when I'm looking at charts and stocks. When I see big volatile moves, traders are going to remember these stocks that spike. Also, it looks like too, let me see. It does look like if I connect all the lower highs besides this one. This is just a weird looking chart. Even going back and connecting the lows. Look at that. That's a perfect wedge. So this has a really hardcore squeeze coming up. Let me see the weekly. Even on the weekly, look at that. Let's squeeze or zoom in on this. Even the 200-day on the weekly, look at that. Right at 450. So the longer the time frame, look at that, even on the monthly, we got the 13 EMA coming right up to the 50 MA. The longer the time frame you see something, the bigger the move it could be. So LEDS is going to be on high watch. Now that I'm piecing all of this together. High watch. We went over ALT, NIO. NIO is still active, so, and it's a newer IPO. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on still. Definitely worth. So we're compiling a pretty big list here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stocks so far going into next week. AETI. This week's it went from 68 cents to a high of 90 cents. Let's see. No volume though. So, and then NEPT. Look at those wild moves. Going from 430 up to 513 dropping down to 430 again. Just up and down, up and down. That's too risky. Too risky for me. I want more reward than risk. Cron, DTEA. Wow, look at DTEA having a big, huge drop on it. The top here at 582. All day Friday, it dropped all the way down to 240. What's the news on this? They filed a SC13G, David's T, DTEA. We could possibly see a bounce on this one. That's a huge drop. Let's see what that 13G is, though. Bring this over. It's always fun looking at these SEC filings. In light of recent significant increase in price of its shares and trading volume, David's T Incorporated, NASDAQ, wishes to confirm that it is not aware of any corporate development or any other reason for the recent market activity. So the company came out with this saying they don't know why it took a big hit. No idea at all, huh? So that's a clear red flag right there. The SEC, if this does go on any crazy moves after this, the SEC could halt it. David's Tea is a retailer of specialty tea offering a differentiated selection of proprietary loose leaf tea, prepackaged teas, tea sacks, tea-related gifts, accessories, and food and beverages, primarily through 239 company-operated David Tea stores throughout Canada and the United States as of August 4th, 2018. And its website, davidstea.com, the company is headquartered in Montreal, Canada. I see 1, 2, 3 big drops on this in the history. So right here, but that was when they released earnings. And again here when it released earnings. But those were gap down drops. This was just a straight up. As soon as the market, well, if you go and look at it, pre-market, even the day before, it shot up from 3 to 375, and then the next day it gaps up to 578, starts to fall down, gets a quick morning spike, very quick. So from 5 to 537, and then just drops all day. Somebody was unloading shares. 65 minute. Let's look at that. So going before this, we got 300,000 in volume. See, even looking at this right here, there's an anomaly right here. You see this green bar on the 65-minute chart, okay? Price goes from $3 to $3.35 with only 56,000 in volume. And then right here, you got a price fluctuation from $3 to $3.35, the exact same thing, but then on this one you got 300,000 in volume. So that doesn't add up right there. And then you got 600,000 in volume right here. And then 500,000. And then this big red candle, that's 6.2 million in volume. And then 3.3 million. And then 1 million, 1.5 million. So the day before it traded 1.8 million in volume when it went up Thursday. And then Friday, it traded 14.4 million in volume. This just smells like fish really, really bad. I do want to just put it on the back burner to see what it does. So DTEA, just watch. See what it does. This week. If any of you guys are tuning in right here, go to YouTube, go to TradingLearning101. That's TradingLearning101. 101. And I'm currently live streaming on YouTube, going over the market. I am a day trader and I document my day trading journey on YouTube, so check it out. Alright? Getting old, everybody. You can't sit for long periods of time. So I hope everybody's having a good weekend, having fun. We seem to have had nice weather this week. Preparing for the upcoming week. It's weird. Once you start learning to trade and you start trading, a lot of people hate Mondays. Now it's like Monday is like my favorite day of the week because the market opens and just bank money trading. That's why we call it Money Mondays. Love Mondays. Let me do something real quick. There we go. So let's go through the scanner here and see what we can pull up. We went over MDXG. That just looks like a pump. With it coming out with its news, though, it's not good for the company. They had 4 executives get terminated. Then they come out with the Form 8K. We got IAG. It looks like it's in a range. $4 to $3.80. It's not volatile enough for me. Even going and looking at the daily, no. ASNA, and then also let me delete everything on this watch list. GTXI went on a big dump. We'll see what that's about. So GTXI, what happened here? This dropped pre-market from $23 all the way down to $1.30. Then comes up to a high of $2.50. See, this is why I don't play pharmaceuticals. It failed its drug trial mid-stage, and the stock drops from $23 down to $1.30. That's why I don't play pharmaceuticals. These pharmaceuticals, all they're out for is money. That's the only thing they're out there for. They want money to continue their trials. They want money to do more research. They want money to develop more drugs. That's all they want. Money, 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 money. When they're successful and they spike, they do offerings to take the profits and reinvest it back into the company. It's something you just simply gotta just ride the wave during the day. Just a quick scalping. That's it. We got EGC. EGC had a nice run up from $7 to a high of $8. Looks like news of a merger with Cox Oil. It's got room to run up to the 50-day at 8.75, so it's got room to run up 75 more cents. But looking at a different time frame, the 5-minute, this was originally at $9, and then it started to tumble down and down and down, bottoming out here at $6. And then the next day it gaps up to 7 and runs up to 8. So let's see the 15-minute here. We put a resistance line on this at $8. I'm going to take a picture of this and put it with the September charts. Alright, so it has resistance up here. 850, 875. EGC. see. What was this on? The 15-minute? Yeah. EGC 15-minute oil. Drop. Then news of merger. See the power of looking at multiple time frames? You go back and look, the 65-minute, you see it bottomed here at $8, bottomed at 8, bottomed at 8, 1, 2, 3 times, and then it topped out right here at the $8 area. It falls down to 6, and then it gaps up and starts moving up, and look at where pretty much where it stopped at, $8. So that's why I go to say these stocks have muscle memory. They remember price areas. EGC. I just want to add EGC to the back burner and just watch it. And then ASTC had a nice good spike Friday, I believe. Yep, going from 325 to a high of $6. It even closed strong. Did it have any news? No. Just a low float pump. Let's see what the float is. I know it's low. I know it is. Yeah, float's only 3.5 million. It's got a history of spiking. They draw support here at $6. I'll just add ASTC just to see if there's any momentum that continues into it either Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to say probably it's just going to fade off. That's all that's going to happen with this. LGC is a pot stock. GBTC is Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin investment trust. GBTC, let's see. Doesn't have a float, but shares outstanding is 175 million. It's an OTC. I don't mess with OTCs. UXIM. No. Let's go to the top volume leaders. Top volume leaders was NBEV, IGC, F for Ford before it is on the New York Stock Exchange. I don't play the New York Stock Exchange too much. Yeah, it's only got a range of 20 cents. Snap. Is that Snapchat, I think? Yeah, Snapchat. That's on the New York Stock Exchange. Float on that is 730 million. SWN. Not volatile enough. I don't know why HMNY has so much volume. It's literally at a penny. ABEV. CHK. I kept seeing CHK pop up all week. And that's why it grinded all the way from it took 4 days for it to go up 50 cents. 10 cents a day. Change from the open. ASTC, XBIO. XBIO spiked from 270 up to 4. No news. Looks like it could be going for another run too. It's consolidating here at 330, making higher lows on the 15-minute. The float on XBIO, 8.7 million. What a wicked spike. I would just add XBIO to the back burner. Keeping an eye on the level too, though. Look at the spread on it. Even though the market's closed, but you always want to be keeping an eye on the spread when watching these stocks. MRNS. MRNS. $40 million flow. Pharmaceutical. It's a good looking 65-minute chart. Has a gap down, consolidates, has a nice run up to the gap pretty much. Pulls back, runs up here to the high, and then explodes above that high. Let's see. You can see how this was resistance at 1.616, pulls back, then it surges up and above it, pulls back, bounces off of it as its support. Resistance now becomes support, and then just grinds all the way up to a high of 738 from 614. Pulls back, again, bounces right off of it, and starts moving on up. So in the future for MRNS, I would look for this to pull back, and I would look for 825 to act as support. And if it is showing me it's acting as support, this is a good possible swing. Look at it in the 15-minute. If $8.15, $8 doesn't hold, its next support is like 730. $7 to 730. I like this chart though. I'm going to take a picture of this one too. MRNS on the 65-minute. Yep, it came right up to the highs right here. It's got a high of $10. But you can see there's a lot of resistance here at almost $9. $8.75 to $9. Go to the weekly real quick. Yeah, you can clearly see that. 880 is the resistance. We set support at, what was it, 820? Yeah, about 816. Possible swing. Or it could be doing a multi-year breakout if it breaks above this $9 level. Or it could consolidate before breaking out to new Yearly highs. Go to swing charts and add this one. And this is all you do. All day. Every day. Even on the weekends. You look at charts. Look at charts and charts and charts and charts. And you pick out the best ones that you think have the better risk than reward. Or better reward than risk. Yeah, I'm really liking MRNS. Even Jern, I gotta keep Jern on my watch list. Jern even looks to be consolidating and looking for its next leg up. I like this tightness that it's doing right here with this consolidation at the 550 level. It could make it pop to its next move up to $6 and $6.50. KNDI. I don't like that one. OPK. OPK. It's below the 50-day. I don't want that one. Yeah. Yeah, they just had a chairman retire and they have lawsuits all over them. So I don't want to be any part of that. NEWA, I'm still looking for this to start. This is a crazy one. I still want to keep this on the back burner to see what it does. And GEMP. Wow. There's just a bunch of stuff. First, let's look at this in the 65-minute. Okay, we got clear resistance here at 250. 250, and it's starting. This is a really good pattern it's setting up. Draw a trend line connecting the low or higher lows to up to the resistance. So I'd say anything, if this gets over 250, this could start bringing in hype. It's got room to run up to 325. Let's see the volume. That's on the weekly. Yeah, it is. Even on the daily, it's forming higher lows, coming up to the resistance here at like 250. I'm going to create an alert for GEMP. $2.45. Have this be in effect till Friday. So volume's been hanging around 1 million. Flow is 12.73 million. So I'm liking GEMP. Really liking GEMP going into Monday. Even though on the 3-minute it doesn't look too well. But on the 5-minute it looks pretty good. No news on it either. And the other one was GERM. Let me see something real quick. GERN on the 65-minute. Yeah, I like how it's consolidating here, making higher lows, coming up to, if it can get over 575, hype could come back into this. So we got Journ on the back burner. I wanted to add XBIO, EGC, DTEA, David's T, ASTC, and then go to the main watch list, the weekly watch list. Add LEDS, IGC, CRON, NBEV, TLRY. Back to the back burner, add an NIO. We have, no, add AWSM. That's it. It's a lot going into next week. A lot. And then anything that pops up on Monday, we'll be adding that as well on what's going on pre-market. So CSBR was an earnings winner recently. That went on after it released earnings of 38 cents. It goes from 8.30 to a high of 15. So that was a great move after earnings. Wow. That's so awesome. That's what I love to see right there. From 8.30 to a high of $15. An $8,000 investment buying 1,000 shares, that could have made you, it could have doubled your money in what, 1, 2, 3 days. RENN, that's done for. SSKN, yeah, this released earnings way back in August 14th. August 14th, it released earnings of almost 10 cents a share. About 3 weeks it took to go from $2 up to $4. Moves up, consolidates, moves up, consolidates, and then it's looking for its next leg. Yeah, I'm going to draw on this one. Arrow. I can't delete that now. Company releases earnings, spikes, then consolidates, and spikes again. To almost $4. 2 weeks. Take a snip of this. And save it to the September charts. SSKN, earnings winner, beautiful spikes with consolidation. So we'll leave that there. We got our pot stocks we're keeping an eye on. We got our weekly watch list. I got LADS with the squeeze. We're watching Journ. Let's see what that does. And I have 2 brokerage accounts. I got one I day trade in, and one I literally just opened with 3,000, and I'm gonna be looking to swing that one. So that's gonna be a small account swing challenge. So I've been looking for swing charts for that account. We're still waiting for Funko to make its next move up. After it touched 31, it pulled back to the $20 area, and it's looking like it's trying to move back up. And then I just like keeping an eye on ODFL. That's been a good one for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. This has been pulling back. And then we got Meet Me. I like the chart on this one. Keeps bouncing off of this 50-day moving average. It just made a new high up here at 540. So it recently just bounced off of the moving average here at 440. It's making its way back up to that high at 540. Every time this thing comes out with earnings, it moves up the past 3 times. And then MRNS, we're looking for it to break out of this area, this $9 area. There we go. Can I add it on here? Alright, got my watch list done for the upcoming week. I think I'm prepared. Took me just over 2 hours to prepare for this upcoming week, but yesterday I live streamed for a little while, and that was just doing research, looking up different websites, going to sites like theliant.com, looking up the biggest percentage gainers, NLST, OGEN. Let's see, that had a good spike. Just going to different websites and seeing on multiple, because this is what all the rookie traders are doing. They're cheapskates. They don't like to invest in scanners. They're going to all these websites that are free, and I want to visually see what they're seeing and take advantage of them. That's what it's all about. Give me your money, new kid. Because they're all compulsively buying at the top and not having any patience. So we got that, and then I go to finviz.com, And this is a free stock screener as well. So then I'll also look at, they have a signal thing right here, a signal category. So I'll look at the trend line supports, see if there's anything that spikes my interest. NOVN, that looks crappy. IVR's in an ascending triangle, bouncing off of that trend line at 16, bouncing up to 1650 every time. IVR. Bring this over here, zoom out on it. Yeah, you can clearly see that. Resistance there at 1660. You could put a couple lines on this. One there. And I would put a support line I'd say 1575. So I would wait for it to start pulling back down to the $16 area and potentially bounce off 16 or 1575 and start working its way back on up. So let's add that to swing charts. IVR. And then bring this over. IVR float is 111 million. It's on the New York Stock Exchange. And this ticker it operates as a real estate investment trust that focuses on investing and financing. Let me see something real quick. I wanted to go back to 2008, 2007 to see if it had that big downfall during the financial crash. What else we got? If anybody's interested on this right here, yeah, you could follow me on YouTube. I'm a day trader, and you can follow me on my journey if you're interested in learning or just watching my journey as a day trader. I live stream all the time. You can find me at TradingLearning101 on YouTube, or you can go to my website, TradingLearning101.com. Check it out. So let's look at the channel ups. PMO is in a nice channel. Looks like from 1175 down to 1150. It just broke out of it though. AKTX, nah. Let's look at AKTX though real quick. Has a history of spiking big, but it's caught just below. It's right above the 50-day moving average at $2, and the 200-day is at 250. It's got a lot of resistance right here at 230. AKTX. It's on the NASDAQ. 6 million float. It's a therapeutics, biopharmaceutical. Channel down. Now, I'm just really going to be focusing a lot on the pot stocks this upcoming week. I feel like it's going to bring in a lot of momentum. TRVN. No. Too much resistance. Is there anything else? No. Biggest percentage gainers. Let me see if I can go into this and configure it. Okay, so it's currently scanning from 20 cents to $10. Volume today is above 150,000. No float. I think I want to keep it at that. So that's good. And the biggest money gainers. Let's see what this is at. From 10 cents to $20. Volume today is at least 200,000. Change from the close. I'd say at least 25 cents. No float. stocks where the stock was up at least 25 cents from the previous close. No, I won't keep that. And then we got volume leaders. This one isn't really too much. Scanning for price between 10 cents and $20. Volume today, at least 100,000. Alright, we got that, and new daily highs. NVCN. 1 second. Yeah, you see how that came right up to the, it's a big doji. Came right up to the 50-day, and it's a reverse split as well. Let's configure this though. Let's see where it's at. Scan it for 10 cents to $20. Change from the close is at least 5%. And the volume is at least 250,000. Okay. So that's all good. And then I got the Weed Watcher. I do want to configure all on the exchanges. I don't want no pink sheets. I don't want no OTC. I don't want no Toronto. We can do the indices, but then that's it. LXRP. No. Go back to the history. TRPX. You also got to add the float into that. If I can get a hold of it. Okay. Configure all. No. I want snap. Come on. Configure all, yes. It won't let me mess with the columns. Show as column. Alright, on YouTube, I'm gonna say until next time, you guys. I'll make sure you guys prepare for the upcoming week. Be patient, study, and discipline, and wait for that setup. I'm excited to see what Monday has in store. So until next time, guys, study up and prepare. Alright? Later.